Like, we didn't want to do it. Like, the situation just kept getting worse and worse.
Hey guys, welcome back to another day of Vlogmas. So as you guys can tell by the title and the fact that
The
we're
tone
like
of
sitting,
this video, it's going to be a little bit different than the rest of our Vlogmas content.
be a little bit more serious.
This definitely isn't a video that is easy for us to make, but with the amount of questions and comments that we've been getting literally everywhere. I mean, it started on Instagram, then it followed us to Twitter, Snapchat, like literally anywhere you can ask a question, we've been getting this question. And it's been about our dogs and our pets, our animals. And those of you who have been subscribed to us for a while, you guys have seen them. You know the story of how we got our animals, Cozy, Roxy, and everything. And you guys love them. And I understand why, we've been getting these questions because you guys love them. I mean, obviously not as much as we do, but you guys are so used to seeing them. And I'm sure they brought joy to some of you guys' lives. And so to just stop seeing them out of nowhere, I'm sure it was hard for you guys. And again, I just want to say this video is like not easy for us to make.
It took us a while to even come around to.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of a hard subject to talk about. But at the end of the day, I feel like as much as we would like to keep it to ourselves and kind of, just handle the situation on our own, I feel like we should put it out there for you guys, just for the ones who are like genuinely curious, because I can tell from the tone of some questions, I don't know if it's the same for you, but I feel like some people when they ask, they're asking in like some like conniving, aggressive way. Like they're trying to like something suspicious is going on.
Yeah, we did something bad.
And then some people are asking like, and I can tell that it's just genuine. Like, hey, I haven't seen them. I mean, they were in our intro for Vlogmas last year, and they weren't this year. And so I mean, I know it took a toll on some people, and that's why we finally sat down to kind of tell the story. And again, it's not anything easy.
I know, like my heart hurts. Like right now, like my heart is like
my hands are freezing. My heart is pounding. Literally, this is the hardest video to film, but I feel like even once we get it out to everybody, we'll feel a little bit more relief. Yeah.
I know, we definitely just need this weight lifted off our shoulders, but please, can you guys just wait till the end of the video before you judge us or judge what we did, because this was very, very hard for us. Like, this is one of the hardest things we had to do, like as a couple.
It's easily the hardest thing we've ever had to do since we met each other. Easily the hardest decision.
Just listen to
what
we have to say before you guys run to the comments and make us feel bad or anything like that, because again, this was not an easy thing at all.
Exactly, and we don't want to be viewed as bad people or irresponsible pet owners or anything like that, because if anyone has ever been around us in our home or even just seen us interact with our animals, you can tell it's pure love, and we genuinely cared about them. And anybody who knows me personally, like Cozy is literally like my first, like that's my Kayvon. That was my first Kayvon. And so pretty much, I mean, we've been kind of weaving around the subject, but we had to rehome them. And it was a situation where it was like we didn't want to do it. We didn't want to rehome them, but like the situation just kept getting worse and worse. So
basically, hold on, let's calm down and then continue. So we also get the question, where's Nala? We do still have Nala. She's just like a cat, so she'll be like up in the windowsill. She's always hiding. She's not always like out in the videos like a dog would be. But so basically, you guys know, if you guys didn't know, our big dog Roxy, we didn't really go out searching for her.
She kind of just fell in our lap.
So we have a whole video about Roxy's story from last Vlogmas, and pretty much our friend was babysitting her using an app called Rover, and her owners never came to pick her up. So it was kind of a thing where Mel and I, like, we weren't going to take her to the shelter. Like, we didn't have the heart for that. So we're like, let's just keep her until we find her a home, and then
we ended up falling in love with her because she's a great dog. Like, she's a perfect dog, and we fell in love with her. And we couldn't give her away.
It was irresponsible of us. I think that was irresponsible of us.
I mean, we already had Cozy, we already had Nala, and we were in an apartment at the time, so we technically didn't even have the space to take in Roxy, but it was just, like, she's such a sweet dog.
I know. She's
like,
we love her so much.
We couldn't. And honestly, like, when we first saw her, we were both kind of intimidated by her because, like, I had a Yorkie growing up, and you have, like, a Pomeranian, so we've never seen huge dogs like this. So we were both intimidated by her. And the fact that once we, like, literally, she didn't even know us and treated us like family.
I know.
We were like, we have to keep her.
You know, it's just, we were just young and dumb. Even though it was like a year, 2 years ago, it was just a very dumb decision.
Especially because we weren't necessarily like dog people. Like I said, we had Yorkies and Pomeranians, which are very low maintenance dogs. You know, they don't need as much as
like
other
breeds.
Yeah. They're super easy to take care of. And again, when you're living with your family, your parents, you're not really fully taking care of the dog the same as you are like when you're by yourself. And so when we got Roxy, that was the first time we experienced a dog having periods and like
Yeah.
all these things that we just were not even ready for, didn't even know about.
The reason we were so adamant on keeping her, because her and Cozy were two peas in a pod. They were best friends. They got along so well. They were so cute together.
I mean, if you guys have been following us, you would have seen our stories in the past of them cuddled up, literally sleeping together for hours.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know what it was. You know, back at our old apartment, they would fight like over toys, just like how dogs
Barely,
do.
like little petty
No,
fights.
not even fights, but just out of jealousy. Like, you're
Yeah.
playing with this toy, I want it, and they would bicker. And then I would come in, and literally I wouldn't even have to touch them. I'd just be like, hey. And then they'd scurry and break up.
Yeah, they really respected Mel.
And so that was it. And, you know, I'm like, okay, they're just dogs. You know, they can go at it like that. It was never to the point where it was aggressive or I felt like one of them would hurt
each other.
Hurt the other. And then it was once we moved here, and I felt like it was after Kayvon was born. The fights just got so aggressive.
They escalated like crazy.
It was to the point where if I wasn't home, they would have killed themselves.
They would have killed each other. Slowly, we just started to see their attitudes towards each other shift. It wasn't really Roxy. It was more so Cozy, the smaller one.
Cozy started.
So Cozy just started instigating these super aggressive fights.
And it would be like on site. Like Roxy would just be standing there. Cozy would walk in the room, and you could like literally you would see it on his face, almost like Cozy like.
He just completely switched up
like
on
his
Roxy.
attitude and his face would change, and then he would just run at Roxy and start attacking her like.
And it got really bad after Kayvon. And I feel like because, as Mel mentioned, Cozy was like his number one baby. I feel like Cozy started to feel jealousy and, you know, that you weren't giving him as much attention as you used to because you just had a baby. And I feel like he was kind of like taking it out on Roxy. He would always try to fight her. And guys, we're not talking about little fights. Think about these street dog fights, like literally terrifying.
There was like
bone
I can't
chilling,
tell
like,
you how
noises.
much blood we had to clean up from the floors in our house. Like literally blood.
It was so
dripping
scary, you
all
guys.
through our house.
We're gonna put a little warning, guys. We did take some pictures and videos of one of their really bad fights, so you guys can see to the level. We're not exaggerating. These dogs, if they don't get separated, they would have killed each other. And a reason I didn't want to talk about this because already bullies and pit bulls can kind of get shed in a bad light, and I don't want us to make this video and you guys to feel like Roxy, who is a bully, is like aggressive. She was not aggressive at all. I think Cozy just instigated her so many times that she was like,
and I
it's
think
on site.
I feel like it was more of an in-house thing. Like if Roxy were to walk up to another dog, she would not have that problem.
She never had that problem
It
with
was
other dogs.
just Cozy. I think she was just so fed up that Cozy had been attacking her. Literally, no exaggeration. This was like 4 weeks that we had to start keeping the dogs separated. They couldn't go outside together. They couldn't sleep together anymore because literally the second that Cozy seen Roxy, he just attacked. And it was just really bad. Roxy's arms had bite marks and it was swollen. Like her arm was literally...
They were hurting each other and they were clearly very upset. And guys, the main thing you need to realize is I would not have been able to break up these dogs myself. So if Mel's not home and these two dogs are out and they get into this fight, there's no way I could have broken them up. Imagine if Kayvon was in my arms or anything like that. It just became a very dangerous situation.
And I leave the house a lot because I do most of the grocery shopping and errands, and I'll stay home with Kayvon. So that was just not a safe situation, just knowing that the second I left the house, and that was the one thing about Cozy specifically, is the second I left the house or wasn't around, he was a completely different dog. Because he respected me so much that he would do things around other people that he would never do around me. And so one time we had the dogs out, me and Nas were home. They were acting perfect. Like this was in the midst of their fighting, so we were so shocked. Like, we can't believe they're getting along. Oh my God, this is so crazy. We said, okay, Mama and Baba, we're about to go to 7-Eleven. Just literally, we just went to go pick up snacks. So we were gone for like 10 minutes. 7-Eleven, we get a call before we even make it to 7-Eleven. Keep in mind, 7-Eleven's 5 minutes away. So we haven't even been gone from the house for 5 minutes. And we get a call and Baba's literally like out of breath. Mama's like in the back. You can hear her like screaming and scared. And they're just like, the dogs just got into the biggest fight. Like there's blood all in the man cave. We don't know what to do. And I'm like, we were just home with them for 2 hours. And they were together acting perfect.
It got to the point where we now had to keep the dogs fully separated. So for a good 2 months, you guys, we had the dogs. One dog would be out. One dog would have to be locked away in another room. Yeah. Or like we keep
one
them
would be in the man cave.
And then one would be out and
roaming.
What kind of life is that? You know, like what dog needs... no dog should live a life where they're locked away in a room.
And then,
you know, they couldn't go out to use the bathroom together. It just became so much because already Mel and I had so much on our plate.
And then we already had
a baby. We just had a baby. We're just adjusting to that.
And Mama had just left. Mama had just left like a month before, so we were just adjusting to doing everything on our own. And
this was taking a toll not only on the dog's mental health, the dog's well-being, but it was also taking a toll on our marriage.
We were arguing
about these dogs. We were arguing about our situation.
It wasn't even always about the dogs. It's just the fact that we were just upset.
If you guys remember, right after we had Kayvon, we got Cozy neutered. We figured that was a behavior issue. We're like, maybe because he's not fixed and Roxy isn't fixed, that he has a lot of testosterone and he's just going crazy. So we got him neutered and that didn't help at all.
No, I felt like it made him even more aggressive.
So after the 2 months of us just having the dogs be completely separated, we're like, you know what? This isn't the life we need to live. This isn't the life
the dog was starting to like crawl and try and be on the floor and stuff. So we were like, we have to
find a solution. So our first instinct was to call up Mel's parents in Ohio, and we begged them like, take one of the dogs,
because they love them. But like, you know how it is, like, you can love a pet all you want, but if you really don't want a pet in your house, like, it doesn't matter how much you love them. And my dad
when you have a dog like a French Bulldog or American Bully, they're very high maintenance dogs. You guys, they need to go to people who truly love animals.
We wanted either of the dogs to just go somewhere to family or a friend, just because, like we said, we genuinely loved these dogs. Like, it wasn't a hate for them. It wasn't like, Roxy, I hate you so much, I want to get, like, no, we genuinely loved them. We're like,
we need to find them a house quick. We really took our time finding them.
And that's one thing I want you guys to understand, is that if, to this day, if we did not find a home that we thought were perfect, they would still be living in here, and we would be dealing with, you know, whatever we have to deal with. It wasn't a
malicious intent.
Yeah, it wasn't like
we're like, we're tired of these dogs, let's just throw them away. Like,
yeah, it wasn't like an ultimatum thing. It wasn't like, oh, if we can't find them a home, then it's the shelter for them, or if we can't find them a home in 2 weeks, then no. It was, if we took 3 years to find them a home, even though that's an exaggeration, we would have done that, because we genuinely loved them and we wanted them to be happy, and we knew that they were happy with us, but at the same time, they could be living a much, much better life. And that's one thing that we are so excited to share with you guys, is the fact that they are living amazing lives.
They're living better than us now, you guys.
They are living their best lives, and that's why, I mean, the tears that you saw in the beginning of the video was just because, like, we genuinely love them.
We miss them.
And we miss them, and obviously when you have a dog, that aura of just them walking in the room, it does something to you.
I miss hearing his little pitter patter, like, walk in the room.
And like, Roxy would just walk in the room and just sit and just look at you, and you know, you just felt positive energy from that. And you know, things like that we miss. But I think they're so happy right now.
I know. I think part of maturing and becoming an adult is making these very difficult decisions. Because trust us, we were like, oh, we love these dogs, but we knew their lives could be a million times better. No, they didn't need to be locked in a room.
And even looking at our backyard right now, like, we're getting our pool done. We have so many trenches and holes dug into our yard. They couldn't even be outside. They wouldn't even be able to enjoy the backyard like they wanted to.
So to end this video on a positive note, we're going to be updating you guys on both the dogs. And you guys, trust me, probably were sad throughout this whole video. This is very positive, and we got so happy when we got an update from the new owners. So big shout out to Triana, you guys. You guys know my previous manager, Triana. A lot of you guys ask if we still are friends. So even though we don't work together professionally anymore, we still are really good friends. And she was amazing at helping us find homes for these dogs. Also, before we picked the home for the dogs, we also met with the owners. They had play dates before, just so we could see ourselves. They were a good fit.
Right.
So Cozy went to Joe and Craig, and they're an amazing couple.
Amazing couple.
And they are head over heels over Cozy, you guys. I'm going to insert some pictures they sent me. He has regular play dates.
Regular.
Weekly play dates with other dogs. He goes to pool parties. He goes to the beach often. He wears bow ties. He's getting so spoiled.
Life. He gets so much love.
So much love.
And it's amazing to see, and the fact that, you know, they keep us up to date, sending us pictures and letting us know what's going on with him. We feel like, you know, he's still in our lives. It's almost like we, you know, sent our kids off to college or something.
Yeah. Oh, baby. I know, guys. Mel was so upset. He cried so hard. When Joe and Craig came to pick up Cozy, Mel was super emotional. Even the new owners started to like tear up because they felt so bad. He's living an amazing life. His new owners are head over heels for them. And I just want to address this because I think a lot of you guys might be asking why we decided to give both of them away. Why not just like keep Cozy and give Roxy away? It was because Cozy, we just knew he was the type of dog that wanted all the attention. He wanted to be spoiled. That's what made him the most happy.
Yeah.
His attitude shifted when a baby came in the picture. And I do want to mention that there was a lot of homes that wanted Cozy, and we chose Joe and Greg specifically because they didn't have kids. And we're like,
they didn't want kids.
They wanted their dog. They wanted
dogs.
fur babies. Like they wanted their dogs to be their babies, and we're like, perfect.
Yeah.
This is the perfect
Cozy
fit.
gets that one-on-one attention. He's getting the same attention that we're giving to Kayvon, and I love that for him.
So now time to update on Roxy. So Roxy is now, her name actually changed. Her name is now Mamas, and she actually has an Instagram page. It's called Mamas the Bully, so you guys can go follow it to keep up with her. They have really cute pictures on there. But she went over to Sydney and Gabe over in Orange County. So they're both still close. They're both still in California. And we're so happy with the home we picked for, I'm going to call her Mamas because that's her new name. We're so happy for the home that we picked for Mamas because they're young, married couple.
Literally
they have this gorgeous backyard.
Like the first week they got Roxy, I think she
They
went
took
to
her on
like
vacation.
a wedding.
Sydney told me, she's like, I booked a hotel specifically that allows dogs. So she went along.
It's just great.
She was a pirate for Halloween.
Right.
They have this beautiful yard that
she
she's
had a
always
Halloween
playing
costume
in.
this year. That's amazing.
It's so
just
cute.
Like I
They
said,
dress her up.
they're living great lives, and again, I don't want my tears to misconstrue how I truly feel. It's just this is our first time really talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, when we talk to family and friends, we don't really go into this much detail. We kind of just like, you know, because most of our family and friends already knew about them fighting.
You guys can judge us all you want, but at the end of the day, if you guys really know us, you would know this was the best decision for our family. It was the best decision for the dogs.
Hardest. It was the best,
and the hardest.
I mean, I couldn't imagine having like the anxiety we would have with
So
how much
anxiety.
Kayvon crawls now. Our anxiety would be through the roof.
Also, I do want to mention this because I feel like some people are going to want to call me out on this, so I do want to address it. In our video we did in our last Vlogmas where we talked about the fact that we got Roxy, I did mention a dog is a commitment. If you're going to get a dog, like that's your family member for life. And I do want to touch on that because when I did say that, that was in the terms of the fact that Roxy was abandoned by her previous owners. They didn't go through the loops of finding her a new home. They basically just left her with a babysitter and never picked her up.
Right.
What I meant by that was obviously life situations change all the time, and a dog you committed to, your life changes. So if you do,
we're just saying to rehome, not to just abandon them.
Throwing them at a shelter.
Do the work to find them a family who's going to give them the love that they deserve. Because just throwing them into a shelter is literally just almost the same as throwing them away. Although people do go to the shelters, but they're just not loved the same as sending them
attention
to a good home. And there's always people looking for dogs.
Yeah.
Literally always people. So just ask around. Ask somebody you know. Like we just asked Triana. She reached out to everybody she knew on Facebook who was looking for dogs. So just take the time. It literally didn't take us that much.
It took us like a week or two.
We didn't have to do that much work.
Great homes.
But yeah, do the work. Meet up. Make sure you're doing meetups and really making sure you're sending them off to good people with good hearts, because that's what we did, and it just made this whole process so much easier.
Like whenever we get pictures from their new owners, we get the biggest smile on our faces. It's like bittersweet because obviously we do miss them, but we're like, wow, like they're living the life. And
at least
makes us so happy.
It just feels so much better knowing that we didn't send them to a shelter or somewhere and we're just like not knowing what's going on with them, never hearing about them again. I mean, the fact that we now have Mama's Instagram and things like that, so you know, we're still in their lives. And that's the great thing about being able to rehome, is building the connection with their new owners. And yeah, so I mean, I feel like that's enough for this video. This was pretty hard for us to film, and I'm definitely going to need to go grab Kayvon up right now and give him a hug. So
I love you, babe.
We'll see you guys in our next video.
Bye, guys.